Guys, have you ever watched a YouTube video that just touched you so much, it kind of spurred you into action? Today, I was watching this video on the power of silence, but you're not going to get a power of silence talk, and I'll tell you why. While I think we can all agree sometimes a lot can be said through silence, right? You can know if somebody's mad, angry, maybe they don't care at all, right? They're indifferent to you. But I'm watching this video and it's describing the power of silence, and every single thing they said, I was like, yes, yes, check the box, I totally agree. Sometimes silence is the best weapon if someone does you wrong. But then right underneath that, I saw another video by a YouTuber that goes by the name Choose Joy, and then his actual name, guys, is Darren Nakahara, okay? He is actually terminally ill with ALS, which I believe is Lou Gehrig's disease. And so you could tell while he was talking that he was struggling just to kind of get words out. I don't know if the doctors told him that he's literally in his last couple days or what, but he was talking about some regrets that he had. And it was the exact opposite video of the power of silence. His was the idea that sometimes silence can lead to a lot of regret. And that even though he was on his deathbed, so to speak, or his last couple days, one of his biggest regrets was that he never got to tell his third grade teacher what an absolute inspiration that she was in his life. Isn't that beautiful? And she is actually the reason that he himself became a teacher. So imagine all his students, right? The lives that he touched. That would never have happened if he wouldn't have had that special bond and that spark of inspiration from that third grade teacher. And he said that one of his biggest regrets was that he didn't reach out to her sooner to try to let her know, because he was assuming, based on his age, I think he said he was like 58, he was just assuming that she's probably long gone. He didn't really strike me as the type that was trying to get in touch with her as much as just letting us know how much she meant to him. So assuming she is long gone, that woman went the rest of her life, the whole of her life, without knowing how much she inspired this teacher named Darin. And I just thought that was beautiful. And he went on to say, call your mom. Call your family members, call those old, long-lost friends. Because you never know when you call them, they might really be in a tough spot looking for that outreach so that they know that they're not alone, because this world has a way of putting us all onto an island all by ourselves. And it got me thinking, and it got me a little emotional, because sometimes these videos are sad. Whenever you see a nice human being, it's really kind of tough to know that they're dealing with some stuff and they might not have much time left. You follow me? So I reached out to my ex. I reached out to a handful of friends. They probably all think I'm on the second story of my house ready to jump off and end it. I hope I didn't come across like that. But he suggested that we let people know that, hey, my life's better because you were a part of it, because you were in it. And so I just left it simple, and I sent 4 or 5 people, including my mom, a message that just said, hey, I want you to know that my life was better than it would have otherwise been because you were in it. And that was all I said. So like I said, for all I know, they're thinking, oh my God, Jesse's getting ready to jump and drive his car off a cliff. Hopefully I didn't scare them or anything. But my question to you is, are there any family members or friends or old acquaintances that you keep telling yourself you need to get back in touch with, but you've been delaying? Because maybe there's a reason that this video was shared with me, and maybe there's a reason that I'm sharing this video now with you. If any of you guys pick up the phone and reconnect with somebody, whether it be a family member or a friend, then that's a good thing. And even if you ignore my words and never reach out, I think just thinking about those people will probably bring a smile to your face. We are an accumulation of all the experiences that we've ever gone through. And no matter where you are in the world, you wouldn't be there without each and every person that played a part in this giant theatrical play we'll call life. That's kind of amazing, isn't it? All the good things in your life would not have happened unless you went through some of those trials and tribulations. That's right. Every single dark cloud that's out there has a silver lining in it. If I don't go through some of the crap that I went through as a child, well, there's a good chance that I wouldn't have my son and daughter now, right? That butterfly effect. So for some of you that may not know me, I've been kind of estranged from my son Kobe for heck, it seems like forever now. And sometimes when you want somebody in your life, they hit you with silence. There's that word again. Silence is so powerful. It doesn't necessarily portray anger or rage. Sometimes it just portrays indifference. And I think one of the things that none of us wants to be is we don't want to be like that, feeling like people think of us in an indifferent tone, right? We want people to think about us, and we want them to think positive things. So again, if I ever drop dead and you guys are watching this video after I've left the earth, I want you to know that my gift to the people that watch me is that I want them to know how much I enjoyed walking, because sometimes walking enables us to slow down from the hectic rat race called life, right? And sometimes we can remember that there's certain things out there that are maybe more important than the 9-to-5 job. There are things out there that are maybe more important than who we voted for or how we lean politically, right? How many of us have lost friends that think differently from us? One of those things that we loved as kids was that we were all different. Nobody wants to be best friends with themselves when you're a kid. You want to be friends with all the other kids. Why? I think if you have to break it down, the ultimate reason is because they're different than us. It's fun playing with the other kids, right? Some of the other kids are faster than us. Some of the other kids were smarter than us. Some of the other kids had more money and were more well off than us. But you know what? It was okay, because we also had some friends that were much poorer than us, right? We're somewhere in the middle when it comes to our experiences in life. But again, without every single one of those experiences, none of us would be where we are today. Now, that doesn't mean that we're completely satisfied, right? Some of us are unhealthy. Some of us are overweight. Some of us might not be in the career we want. Some of us might be broke. Some of us might be miserable. But we can all still work and go in the direction of our goals, right? We're not all fated to just be miserable and lonely and broke. So again, I urge you guys, pick up the phone, call those old family members. You never know. They might not have much time left. I even let my mom know I'm all, Mom, every time I talk with you, I look in your eyes and I always wonder if it's going to be the last time we talk. And the only reason I say that is because my mom's excessively overweight. She's a walking medicine cabinet. And when it comes to trying to get her to walk and to be healthy, it's kind of like pulling teeth. It's very challenging, right? And I'm not a dentist or an orthodontist. It's excessively challenging. But at the same time, we can't force people either, right? So what you can do with people like my mom, because I'm sure you guys have some unhealthy family members too, is you can at least let them know while they are alive, before they do have major health problems, let them know how much you care and love them. I have a lot of family members that perished, but I didn't necessarily have a lot of them that I was actually able to say goodbye to. And sometimes that makes you feel guilty. You know what I mean? There are other days where I say, God, thank God I didn't get to see that person perishing. That would have been really sad and depressing. But you know what? Sometimes you got to go through sad and depressing moments in this life. It's not all joy and riches. We notice that when things like the stock market go down, right? Oh my God, everybody's miserable. Everyone's portfolio is shrinking. But the reality is, if you leave this earth tomorrow, you can't take any of that money with you. So that's my battle cry for today. Let's not always look towards the power of silence, but just know that the reason silence is so powerful is because it really lets people know, I don't really want to talk to you, you know? And when someone shuts the door and comes at you with silence, it's powerful. So when you treat others with silence, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Don't shut out people that care for you and love you, you know? So a couple of his comments almost brought me to tears as well. So I'm hoping that you guys can kind of put yourself in this guy's position. He's literally telling people through his YouTube channel that he's only got a little bit of time left. And before he leaves, he's trying to give people some pearls of wisdom. Kaylin M. 4193 says, regret doesn't sound like, oh, I've said too much. It sounds like silence. You know, those are wise words, and that was one of the things that Darin had said. You're never going to regret picking up the phone and telling somebody you love them. You will potentially regret not picking up the phone and telling someone how much they meant to you. Here's the shitty thing. No one's guaranteed tomorrow, right? There's animals on the plains of Africa that are waking up today and they're perfectly healthy, and tomorrow they're going to be eaten alive by lions, right? We're not them, thank goodness. But at the same time, you never know when people are going to be yanked out of your life, or you never know when you might go to the doctors and find out that you're about to be yanked out of everyone's life yourself. So again, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and tell people what you feel about them. And I don't mean that in a mean, negative way. You don't have to call every ex and say, I hate your guts. But I just wanted you to know, thank God you were in my life. You gave me a son, you gave me a daughter. Don't be like that. At Just Me says, I agree. The things we never say can be our greatest regrets, and time is so precious. A lot of times, I'm able to remember New Year's Eve, 1999, for two reasons. That Prince song, Tonight We're Gonna Party Like It's 1999, it was the first song in history that became like top of the charts in 2 different years, right? Because I think it came out in 83 or 84 when Prince was popular. And then of course in 1999, because of the year, it came back. But another thing that I remember from that year is Y2K. You guys remember Y2K. The only reason we remember it is not because it was around the year 2000 like you would think. It's simply because we were all thinking that that could potentially be the end of the world. Because, right, if a bunch of nuclear bombs start exploding in the ocean and stuff, it would have been the end of the world. Thankfully, we all were a little bit too excited about that day. It was a whole bunch of nothing. But the reason I bring that up is because that was 25 years ago. And 25 years ago, I was a very young 23 or 24-year-old guy. Now, fast forward those 25 years, now I'm 48 and a half. And that 25 years went really fast. Time flies. And what's really scary is if you protract that 25 years, not backwards, but if you protract it forwards, then all of a sudden I'm 73. And you know as well as I do, there's a lot of people that perish before they turn 73. 73 is one of those ages where if someone leaves, you say, well, hey, at least they got 73 years out of this world, right? That's going to be tomorrow. All of us are going to wake up soon and we're going to be 25 years older than we are today. Hopefully not tomorrow, literally, but it is going to happen. And one of the things that really freaks me out, and I talk about it all the time, is I feel like when we're young, there's like a dilation of time. Time seems to last forever, depending on if you're happy or sad. But as you get older, whether you're happy, sad, or indifferent, time seems to fly regardless, doesn't it? So every time it's Friday, I'm excited for the weekend. But you know as well as I do, we're going to open our eyes tomorrow and it's going to be Monday again. Time is flying. Time is short. Pick up the phone. Call some people. See if you can reconnect. You're going to end up being thankful that you did. Maybe. This school is called Acacia. A-C-A-C-I-A. That's how we learned how to spell it when I was younger. It kind of rolled off the tongue. A-C-A-C-I-A. You just got used to saying that. And that was how we spelled our school. We were the Acacia Owls. And I haven't been in this school since 5th grade. And I think most of us are around 10, 11 years old when we're in 5th grade, right? I haven't been in this school in darn near 40 years, like 37 years. And it's amazing because every time I walk by it, I no longer feel like, hey, this is my alma mater. I went to school here. I kind of feel like this is just some building that I walk by. But I had some of my best childhood memories right here. When was the last time that you Googled your old school? You haven't looked at your elementary school, guys, in 30 or 40 years. Why don't you go to the computer and Google that old school and take a virtual tour if it's available and go through some memories? Not all of our memories are as 20 and 30-year-olds going through marriage, separation, divorce, child support. That's not really what we're all about. Some of our best memories were right there on the playgrounds and in the building that we know as elementary school. I'm getting a little nostalgic. Sometimes I feel like life is just going so quick. Sometimes I feel like, what if we died and all this that we see is just a flashing of our lives? You've heard that expression that when you die, your life flashes before your eyes? Well, we always assume that flash only takes a split second or two. What if time doesn't work like that? Wouldn't that be crazy if you found out that we all perished and this was literally just our life flashing before our eyes? And that's why sometimes it feels like a movie where you're able to watch things go and happen, but you're not necessarily always powerful enough to change anything. I think about those weird thoughts. I wonder sometimes, is that why people watch me in the show? Is it just to see me walk, or is it because every once in a while I throw out a crazy thought that kind of gives you an idea of what goes on between these two ears? I'm a weird person, but I embrace the weird. I have a feeling a lot of my venters are a little weird or nerdy. My thinking is, don't shy away from that. Embrace it. Now, if you're not like me and you don't like the lovey-dovey sentimental stuff, you're kind of harsh, embrace it. That's who you are. But if you are like me, and sometimes this older sentimental stuff kind of takes over, embrace that as well. There's a reason we are the way we are. But I'll tell you what, my crazy idea back there that we're all dead and this is just our life flashing before our eyes, wouldn't that be crazy if time was weird like that? That what appears to be 1 second to the people that are giving you CPR is the equivalent of 100 years in your mind? God, that's fascinating. Also, what if this world was just a dream? I used to listen to people that would talk about Native American Indian philosophy and beliefs. And some people believe that this is the actual dream world. Wouldn't it be crazy if when we did take our last breath here, we woke up to a person giving us CPR? That would be something. We've got a bunch of people that are praying that will open our eyes in that world where we're having CPR performed on us. I know you guys are thinking, Jesse, this is getting a little too weird, a little too deep. So let's go on to a comment before we weird ourselves out a little too much. Willa, 4420 says, I just lost my older brother 3 weeks ago to cancer. Life is precious. I feel bad. Yes, Darren. I'm going to tell people they made my life better. You are still a teacher. Take care. I wish you only the best. Darren, I think it's wonderful that you can make a video that touches so many complete strangers. The thing that's tough about cancer, do you guys remember that show, Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack? I know you guys do. We all loved that show. It was a scary show though. Remember they would show mug shots? And it was like you didn't even want to look at the mug shot because it freaked you out, and all of a sudden you felt like people were in the back of your house and sounds were coming from the backyard. And you remember how fun it was to be scared sometimes? Well, one of the people in one of the episodes was actually my buddy Richard Regner's mother. She was actually in the show. They asked her some questions about one of the cases. I don't remember because it was literally 40 years ago, right? But they were going through she was one of the guests on the show. Hard to explain because it wasn't that she was a guest. They just showed her for a split second talking. I think her name was Kathy Regner. But that doesn't matter. The reason I bring it up is my buddy Richard, that was his mom. And I remember I saw him a couple years later, and again, this was a long time ago, and I said, Richard, I was watching freaking Unsolved Mysteries, and I saw your mom. And he goes, yeah, my mom was on Unsolved Mysteries. I go, how's your mom doing? She perished 60 days after finding out she had cancer. That's what's so unfair about cancer. That's what's so unfair about the fact that life is short. You never know when a seemingly healthy person is going to just kick the bucket and go kaput and be out of our lives. That's another reason why you should pick up the phone and call. I was watching a TikTok video, and I'm not even joking. I saw the most cute, beautiful 20-something-year-old blonde girl, right? I feel a little guilty because my daughter's 30, but you guys know what I mean. Just absolute gorgeous girl. And she looked really emotional. And she had stage 4 cancer. I don't know too much about cancer, but I know when people have stage 4, it's probably terminal or it's probably very, very bad, right? And she looked so young and so beautiful. And so what I did was I clicked on her channel because I wanted to see if this video from 2022, I wanted to see if she was still around here in 2025. But her last video was in 2022, so it kind of made me sad because I'm thinking to myself, I don't think this girl would just ditch her 200,000 followers. I think she's no longer with us. And I'm telling you, when you see a person, whether it's a guy or a girl, and they are just the epitome of gorgeous, or they are the epitome of healthy, and then all of a sudden they're gone, and you realize you're looking at a video from 2 or 3 years ago, and they've been gone for a while, it's really eye-opening. Here's the crazy thing. Some of us, not me, but some of you, have probably already been cancer survivors. That's one of the good things about cancer research. From what I understand, 7 out of 10 people that are diagnosed with cancer actually end up beating it and surviving. We still feel bad because there's so many people that get cancer that those other 3 out of 10 that perish, that ends up leading to hundreds of thousands of people each and every year of all different ages. Wouldn't it be great if we could actually cure cancer one of these days? That's what we got to pray. That's why I walk. Hopefully one day we'll be able to make sure that beautiful people are able to live as long as possible. Cynthia Hogue says, my dad has ALS too. I love that you put this up on YouTube. You know, if my dad had a disease, which I think he did, I think my dad had like throat cancer or something. For those that don't know, in January, I reached out to my dad because, again, just like my son, I've been estranged from my dad my whole life. And I found out from my cousin Jackie and my Aunt Sue that my dad perished 5 years ago. So even though I wanted to see him all of a sudden and talk to him and develop a relationship with him, I was 5 years too late. Now that might sound like, golly, Jesse, you missed the train by 5 years, right? But I've been contemplating the idea of getting in touch with my dad for the last 20 years. Why did I wait so long? I was a member of Facebook since like 2011. I've had plenty of time to try to get in touch with him. Why did I wait so long? Why are you waiting so long? I'd imagine when you have Lou Gehrig's disease or stage 4 cancer, that every time you go into the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror, I'd imagine it looks like you're aging and withering away. God, that's got to be a lonely feeling, don't you guys think? I'm sorry if I'm bumming you guys out, but I'm trying to do the exact opposite. The best way you can tell somebody you love them is to celebrate life while you guys are both living. So my thinking is, one of the reasons that we start looking at silence as a weapon and as a way to get back at people is because we're angry. We feel disrespected. Maybe that's a weakness that we have internally. You feel me? Because the truth is, how did we ever come up with the idea that silence might be a weapon? They say that the tongue is like a sword, right? There's a lot of power in your tongue. You can make people feel wonderful with your words, or you can make people feel horrible. When you make people feel horrible, there's a chance that they're gonna retort and come back at you with silence. Do you really want to close that door forever? It's a shortcoming, the way we treat other human beings. We should treat people better, including ourselves. And that, my friends, is why I walk every single day. So if you're new and you've been listening to me babble the last 20 minutes, put your shoes on, go for a walk. If you're thinking about reaching out to friends and family members, but you don't know how to go about it, dive into your think tank while you're on your walk and come up with a plan. Even if your plan is as simple as just shooting them an email stating that you're thinking about them and that you wish you could have a better relationship with them, that might be the only thing they're waiting for to reach out to you. And I want you guys to go for it. I want you guys to make sure that when you're walking, you think about your family members and friends, because they could be going through a tough time. And if you're doing really well and all of a sudden you're the richest person in the world, right? Maybe there's a reason that you ran into all this success. Maybe that reason is to reconnect with some family and friends that really could use your help. So make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. I need your help. Make sure you guys come back again tomorrow. Think about doing an extra credit walk today, because my God, you love walking so much. You keep telling everybody how you enjoy it. Why not take an extra lap? And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.